Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Roberto. For those that are new here, thank you for clicking on the YouTube box thing. For those that have been here for a while, thank you so much for continuing. And again, apologies for the delay of these episodes. Just things have just been crazy. Now, this afternoon, it's actually Friday. So you know what happens Friday. Friday, I ride. And I'm not going to lie, I'm very nervous because this Friday is a special Friday. I'm going to be riding the Streetfighter for the very first time. So it still has 2 kilometers on it, hasn't been PD as in the ride thing around the block and that. So I'm going to be doing that and I'm going to be riding it for the very first time. And if you haven't already sort of seen, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm nervous that it's a bike I obviously haven't ridden before. It's got new tyres, not that that's a big issue. But I think the biggest thing I'm nervous about is that I may have ruined the bike. So hear me out. They're an awesome bike. I haven't done really that much crazy stuff, but lighter wheels, different brakes, different this, different that, different tunes, exhaust, the whole lot. I'm worried I may have ruined the core of the Streetfighter. So obviously time will tell, and hopefully I haven't, and I'm sure I'll grow to love it. But at the moment, I'm a little bit sort of nervous. So just to recap, the front nose has all been put on. We've done the paint protection, which we'll go back shortly and just show you sort of a bit of the process of it. But now it's pretty much at that stage now where it can be ridden. We've had all the checks done, so everything's looking good. The only thing we're waiting for is 2 more parts, but they're not going to hinder anything, and that's we went the carbon fiber swing arm cover, not because I really wanted it, but because we've got a mark from factory in the swing arm, and it's sort of like maybe when they painted it, someone's touched it, and it just sort of frustrates me a lot, so we want to cover that up. And we're also there's a new part that's just come out, and it's like a tank pad type thing, which is carbon fiber, not like, how you get those normal ones, the V4, that I fitted quite a lot of, which are, and I found a trick to fit them, by the way, because I've fitted quite a few now. But yeah, it's not those ones there, it's like a carbon fiber block, and it actually sticks out a bit, and apparently it's meant to help you sort of lean and ride. So I'm waiting for those to come from Italy, which means I'll have to replace the tank pad, but that's not a biggie. That'll give me a bit of protection for now. But yes, I'm going to ride it. I'm scared, and yeah, that's kind of the situation at the moment. Before I do ride it, I've taken lots of pictures, so if I've been out on the first ride, I've got sort of evidence of how it is for insurance, and also for people to see. What I will do, but before I ride off into the sunset, is I'm going to do a startup so you guys can actually hear it. I think I am going to have to use baffles. Apologies to all my neighbours and people in basically the city of Perth, because tonight you're going to hear some pretty sort of crazy screams coming from the Quattro Shear. So it's going to be exciting. Hopefully all the tunes are working so far, and I just really want to put a couple of 100 Ks on it, and then get it to the dyno to sort of start doing, changing a bit of the maps and stuff. So I'm going to shut up now. We'll stop the tape, we'll record again, and I'll show you sort of the whole bike kind of 95% done, and then we'll do a startup so you can hear it. And then what I'll do is I'll film when I come back to let you know exactly what I thought, like literally straight after, so there's no like sort of had time to think about it. It's just, yeah, it was good, or no, I've messed it up. And I'm pretty straight and open and honest. I don't sort of really need to hide much. It is what it is. So yeah, all right. So let's do the walk around thing of it, so you can have a look at it. All right, let's switch this off. I won't do that again. Let's start here. Okay, so a little bit of a walk around. So that's kind of how she sits at the moment, all fresh and nice and ready to tear up the streets. The front end's all done. And remember, I don't know if I said in the last episode or not, but I did little mesh vents on these open holes. So I think they look heaps better than just the holes that are just there from factory. So that's all done. I mean, look at that. That looks pretty mean from there, Who needs a V4S? I do. So this is this side of it, which looks, I think, pretty mean. It looks pretty nice. We've got all the rear sets. We've got the sprockets, the wheels, all that type of stuff that you've seen in the previous episodes. One thing I may do, but is I'm going to definitely do an episode where I sort of say things that I would have done hindsight or things that I changed my mind. But one thing I'm thinking of actually changing the chain, and I want to get a 3D chrome chain, because I reckon a chrome silvery chain will look pretty cool instead of the gold. Like, the gold's nice, but I just think it'll look a lot nicer with like a high shiny silver. So that's pretty much as she sits. Hopefully, she comes back like that tonight after the ride. But obviously just going to go pretty sort of tame, just to get tires sort of bedded in, scrubbed up, and then and then hopefully in the next couple of days we do a few more rides and sort of get the Ks up so we can start a bit of the dyno tuning and just see where we're at. So all right, let's do a start up now for you guys so you can actually hear the bike a little bit better, and and then we're off for a ride. Okay, this is it. Now I have pre-started it, so I don't like belting into a bike that's frozen cold. So, and I also wanted to make sure it started. To be honest with you, it is a Ducati. I mean, come on. So, all right, let's do the run. I think it's that button. So that gives you a bit of an idea. Obviously in real life it's really, really loud. I want to eventually do a couple of videos where see me ride by or see the bike ride by on a closed circuit, so you can hear the sort of noise. I'm running it tonight on sport mode just to sort of get my bearings, and then straight into race because I'm a racer. So everyone wish me luck. Hopefully when you jump to the next bit in the next 5 seconds, because it's some magic, which will be probably 2-3 hours of real time, I come back with a massive grin on my face and not with a broken arm and leg and sort of teeth missing. So yeah, awesome. All right guys, again, wish me luck and let's see how we go. Whew, okay, I'm back. I went for about 2 hours. I've done, I think it's 86 kilometers, so from 2 to 86. I filled it up about 4 times. I'm joking. I can't really hear that well, so if my voice is a bit louder, it's because this exhaust system is just insane. I've had probably, I would say I would have passed, like 1 million people, but when I was going sort of slowish, and I'm not, I'm more of a mature rider. I'm not going to go past a pack of people and rev bomb every time, a few times maybe, just a little, just sort of show what I got. But yeah, it is loud. I saw people covering their ears, so gonna have to sort of put the baffles in or something. It's insane. All right, so my initial thoughts of the bike. It's quick. There's no two ways about it. It is just insanely quick. It's smooth, so smooth. The gear shifting is just like butter. It's just, I've never had a Ducati. It's the first Ducati I've had, and I've had quite a few that the quick shifter is not like a baseball bat smacking you in the back of the head. So props to Ducati with the gearbox and the quick shift. I did have one sort of it was a false neutral. It was a bit weird. It went from first to second, which is always never that great, but it did go into second, and I had obviously power and gears had working. But on the dash was just like a line and yellow. And then as I fed it a bit more power, it just went to second, but it didn't change or do anything. So I think maybe the computer wasn't talking or something. So that was the only sort of weird thing I had. Probably, I would say it felt very heavy, sort of, to, you know, change directions. But again, I'm coming from a hypermotard, big wide bars, a fraction of the weight. So to me, it felt a little bit heavy, but then it sort of, the second half of the ride, it sort of became a little bit more natural and sort of did flick a little bit better. Before I left, however, I did make sure I pumped the tyres up. I'm not sure what pressure I should be doing because they're SPs. The manual gives you like a rider only and then a track. So I think it was, don't quote me on this because my brain is literally fried from this ride. I think it was 25 at the front, 2.5 bar, sorry. And I think 2.3 or 2.7 at the back, or I think mixed around. But anyway, it's in the manual. Yeah, it is just insanely quick. There's no two ways about it. Didn't have any issues, stopped at sort of the halfway point, checked for any leaks or anything like that. No leaks, no coolant, no oil. Chain seemed fine, adjustment. Gear sort of setup was perfect. I'm sort of, you know, a little bit worried that everything didn't sort of, you know, like go wrong, because normally they do when you start messing with stuff. I'll probably come back in the morning and find it's all self-combusted into like a big pile of goo, but touch wood, so far it's so good. Seat was awesome. Thank you so much, Lorenzo. The Alcantara just is perfect. It's got the right amount of grip and slip, so you can sort of slip back when you want to tuck in and then slip left to right if you're going, obviously, you know, right or left with knee out and stuff like that. Didn't go obviously crazy. I've got like chicken strips the size of like a, you know, like a dinner plate. I was getting a little bit more confident, but again, the biggest thing with this bike that I found is that yes, it's quick, but it just seems like everybody else is so slow. It's sort of like a time machine. It just teleports you into like another sort of dimension. You're sort of like going 1,000,000 miles an hour and everyone's just like, duh, duh, and that can be very frustrating. So it's not really a metro bike. The only two things that I had issues with and that I hate, and I don't think it's this particular model, but anything in general, is I hate the HID lights, or whatever you call these lights. Every time they reflect off like a signpost or whatever, I keep thinking there's cops behind me because it goes blue, red, whatever. And I'm always like, you know, checking the rear mirrors to see how many cops are chasing me. So that was one thing that really pissed me off, but it is what it is. I do a lot of night riding because I'm always so busy I can't ride during the day as much. And the other thing was my own fault. I actually, you might be able to see, but I swapped back the stock switch block. I actually got the stock switch block able to fit with a little bit of modification because some will know that I had the Jet Prime buttons and stuff, and when I was setting it up this morning, like doing the date and time and all that, I was like, this is going to be difficult on a first ride to know the sequence of buttons just to sort of turn left or press the horn or whatever. So I thought, I'll probably do that. But anyway, because I did that, I didn't put the lever in the right height, so it was a little bit down. Not that you use a clutch as much, but pulling up to lights, I was sort of, you know, trying to grab down. So, yes, so everything's awesome, everything's good. I'm going to fix that up. Tomorrow I'm going to go for another little ride during the day because I have got a little bit of spare time, and we'll see how we go tomorrow. But overnight I'm going to put some sort of white sheets on the floor just to see as everything cools down if there's any leaks or anything at all. And then I'm probably going to take the bottom belly pan fairings off just to have a look around and see if anything's, you know, burning and stuff like that. I didn't notice that much sort of smell of smoke or fire, which is always, you know, very good to have. But yeah, it is just a mental bike. I think, to be fair, it's just too much for the city. Like, this is a great country bike, I think, but then you've got no fairing, so it's kind of almost a pointless bike. But then really, all these bikes are pointless, really, when you think about it. And it is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. Even though it's pointless, it's just awesome. You don't want things that are really sort of fit for purpose or designed to do that, because that's just boring. You want stuff that's just out of the box, and this is out of the box. It is just mental. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now because you heard enough of me. I'll probably end the episode now. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing, all that stuff. If you haven't please do. This is not the end of the sort of series or whatever, because we're going to obviously go through a couple more parts that we're fitting, things that I sort of like and don't like over time, and again do dyno run stuff like that. One thing I do know is that I probably need to buy a couple of sets of rear tires, because I think it's going to chew them out pretty quick, because the torque and the power is just insane. So everyone, stay safe, be good, and we will see you very, very soon for the next installment. All right, thanks guys, see ya.